Why did God give you two hands? Because one is for giving and the other is for receiving. Both are essential. Both are essential to love. If we cannot receive love, we will never be able to give love freely. And unless we give love away, we will never have the space within us to receive love from others. To be able to give and to be able to receive are requirements if we are to become capable of love. I am assuming that because you are here this morning, that we are a people who want to become more capable of giving and receiving love. But if you are like most of us, you are likely better at giving than receiving. The giver is celebrated in our culture. The receiver is almost wholly unknown. And I suspect it's also true to say that the giver is more celebrated in our churches than the receiver. Because we idealize giving so much, we ignore the ability, and yes, the ability, and the blessings, and the duty to receive, to learn how to receive. There are those who live and die only giving love, without ever receiving it, really. Most of us are indeed better at giving love than we are at receiving love. We are so much better at helping people than we are at letting other people help us. We are far better at being willing to listen to others in their need than we are at inviting others to listen to us when it's our turn to be in need. When was the last time you can honestly say that you genuinely received the gift of another person's care for you, another person's compassion for you, and that you really did receive it? I mean, you really did let it in. You and I, we need to learn how to receive without limitations, without hesitations, without blocking all the ways that love is coming at us, to us, through us all the time, and begin to recognize it and let it in. You are worthy. You are worthy of the love and care of others, no matter how you have screwed up in your life, no matter how you've screwed up. You are worthy of love just because you exist and you are in the image of God, just because you are here on this planet. You are worthy to receive, to let yourself receive the love that is offered to you as it is offered to you. You are so worthy of that. Let love in. When Brene Brown is a famous speaker now, actually, and she writes, until we receive love with an open heart, we're never really giving with an open heart. And that's the truth. Until we receive love with an open heart, we're never really giving with an open heart. If we put on the brakes to receiving, we will put on the brakes to giving. And our giving will become so poisonous if it's not balanced with receiving. our giving can become so poisonous if it's not balanced with receiving. That is the witness. That is the witness of Jesus in the story of the resurrection that is unfolding for us, not just here this morning, but on all these Sundays of these great 50 days of Easter. Each of these resurrection appearances teaches us something about love, about what love looks like in its fullness, a risen love. What love looks like in heaven now, heaven here, heaven today, and at the hour of our death. Love in its fullness, a risen love, a love that can really, truly raise us up, as surely as love raised Jesus up that Sunday morning after his execution. In this particular story of the experience of the risen Christ by those who loved him, Jesus, who spent his entire life feeding others, now here is asking to be fed. The one who spent his life feeding is asking to be fed. Do you have anything to eat? He asked them. Give me something to eat, please. In the fullness of the resurrected life, Jesus invites them to feed the one who fed them, to give to him now, to love him. And in a later resurrection story, Jesus will turn to Peter, and say, Peter, and he had reason to ask this because there were so many experiences where he could have wondered, Peter, do you love me? Do you love me? 3 times he asked, do you? I mean, really, do you love me? The one who is always feeding is asking to be fed. The one who's always ministering to others is opening himself to be ministered to by them. That is something of the resurrection life that we have to begin to wrap our minds around and open our hearts to. There's something here of resurrection for us if we learn how to let love in. Our ability to rise up depends on our ability to receive love as it is given on any given day, to receive what is offered as it is offered, to let love in. And if we let love in, if we grow in the capacity to receive love, we will find ourselves participating in a resurrected life, a whole new level of being and consciousness and availability, a whole new capacity to love and be loved. We will find ourselves lifted up, my friends, lifted up into something so new. We believe, you and I, that God is love. We saw God as love in the life of Jesus. We saw him with our own eyes when he lived among us on this earth. The mystery at the beating heart of this universe, the mystery at the very beating heart of this universe, and at the heart of every human experience is love. And love is always, always, always trying to love us. That's what love does. To let us know that we are cherished, that we matter, to show us that we are loved just as we are. Before we change anything, we are cherished and loved. And if we're paying attention to all the ways that love is coming at us, if we're awake to that, and if we let it in, we'll begin to feel that love, through the sun peeking through clouds after several days of just clouds. We'll feel that love through the rain. We will feel that love through the breeze. We will feel that love through the very first spring flowers breaking through that muddy earth out there, just to delight us, just to delight you. You'll feel loved when the stranger says hi, smiles at you when you're walking through the park, says, "Morning, how you doing?" You'll feel love when somebody opens up the space on the entrance ramp into the highway so that you can squeeze in. You'll feel love by somebody's smile or somebody's answer to your question. You'll feel love when you wake up in the morning and open the curtains or the blinds or the shades. Open them and the sun starts to shine in, or you realize even on a cloudy day that, hey, I'm alive. I didn't make this day happen. This is a gift of love to me. You'll feel loved if you have even enough money to buy yourself a nice lunch, or maybe even invite a friend to share a lunch with you, and he or she says yes. You'll feel loved when your doctor is so smart that he studied so hard, that she was so careful with you to be able to tell you what you need to do to feel good again. You'll feel loved by all of that. You'll feel loved when you were at the store ordering in a long line, and that checker made you feel like you're more than just the next person in line. Did you notice that? Did you feel it at all? Did you let it in and let it say something about life? You'll feel it. You will have just let it in. Am I worried? Am I worried as I say all this? Am I worried that if we focus on getting better at letting love in, that somehow we're going to get selfish? We're going to get way more selfish than we were? Not at all. Far, far from it. As a matter of fact, I'm more worried that if we don't let ourselves receive love when it's offered, and receive the help of other people, and yes, even receive their compassion for us, their compassion, the compassion you see on their face for us, and let it in and begin to see it through the universe every day. We pray at the Our Father, give us this day our daily bread. The daily bread is love. Give me something to eat, he said. And we are fed all the time by the daily bread of love in all kinds of ways. The only way you and I will ever stop grabbing at love or attention and always being left jealous and bitter is by taking it in when it's offered, being utterly receptive, letting it sink in, that somebody just cared something about me. A friend or stranger just showed kindness to me. And as we let it in, we get more and more grateful, you and I. We get more grateful. And we live more and more in gratitude because we've let ourselves receive it, receive the love that was offered. And I know it might not always be a lot. And if you're doing your best to raise teenagers, you may think you're never getting the love. But I'm telling you, you are. And if you look for the littlest signs that he or she really does care about you, it will blow you away. We will find ourselves in a constant state of gratitude that we are really cared for in this universe. And your capacity for love will go from here to here. No, I'm not worried at all. If you let love in, you will be less cynical. If you let love in, you will not be so restless and impatient to always be seeking more from life or your family or your days than you've been given. But I have to warn you, if you let love in, you will cry a whole lot more. Maybe for the next few weeks of these Easter days, next time you wash your hands, you can notice that you have two of them. And remember that one is for giving and the other is for receiving. And both are necessary. I want you to know, I think most of you know, that I love to walk. I love to go for walks in nature, especially and with friends. And I want to share with you just a little chant that I sing to myself sometimes, and sometimes I listen to as I walk, that really seems to affect this great opening in me to love. Feel free, if you catch the words, to sing along. Feel free to just receive it. Receive it. Perhaps, if you're comfortable doing it, you could even open your hands on your lap and in the shape of a cup or a vase that's prepared to receive a rose. And maybe this little chant could help you when you go for walks too, or even you're sitting with a friend.
to your love. I am opening to your love. I am opening to your
love. I am opening to your love. I am opening to